Hello, everybody. This is Dale Ray, and I am coming to you live from Houston, Texas. I want to welcome y'all to the Dale Ray Raw and Uncut Show. We have a great show today, and the topic is The Black Man Got It Hard. You know, I want to say something about our organization. It's called Gaining Ground. And we are a non-profit organization. We're a 501c3, and once a week, maybe even twice a week, I'll be bringing you some hot topics that we can all relate to. You know, Gaining Ground helps to inspire teens at risk in Houston, Texas, and also the surrounding areas to reach higher than they believe that they can. And we also provide guidance and support to these teens, and we plan to do it for years to come. And a lot of these teens come from challenging situations and, unfortunately, circumstances that include parents out there on drugs or are in prison. But they also face peer pressure to join gangs. But we at Gaining Ground will continue to strive to reach resources and passionately and hire these volunteer staff who believe what we believe in. I want to thank y'all for joining me today. You know, first of all, I want to say, like all of my other brothers say, and that's getting a job interview doesn't mean you will be accepted. And even when the black man get into the door for an interview, it doesn't mean that the most qualified person gets the job. And I got to keep it real, folks, that even if the brother is qualified, he doesn't even get a return call. And now we understand why anger is growing in the black community. And just because we have a black president doesn't mean he is going to be our savior. And it's so sad, because if we do our history, we see that in the Western world, its cities, its institutions, and even the wealth is built on black slavery. You name the place, and you'll find that its riches were built on the backs of the black man and the woman. But yet today it's hard to get a job. Read the newspaper, people, and you'll see that we live in and under a illicit Anglo-American power structure that's racist towards certain ethnicities. And from the moment that a majority of black children are born in this United States, the odds are stacked against them. And I knew that even when I was in grade school. And when I was in the 4th grade, I can remember my teacher asking me to read a paragraph of George Washington. And I refused to do it. And she made me stand in the corner. You know, our people have been confined to live in ghettos with poor housing. And it's time that we help ourselves. And we have less access to health care and a lower life expectancy. And I got to tell you, I got to call it like I see it. And what about our future generation? What will we tell them about fairness? But I also want to be fair and honest to say to the black folks everywhere that I don't think everybody is against us. And then there is the white folks who say they only see blacks as criminals. And on the flip side of that, why don't we stop making rap music that says, let's go out and kill police? Because the problem also lies in that some white folks don't live in black neighborhoods. They only know about what the media shows on TV. So what would you think if you were white and you heard music that says go out and pimp white women or calling your black brother the N-word? What would you think? And then we gotta get on our brothers and sisters who are intelligent and moving up to the corporate ladder. Y'all need to reach us. You need to teach one, reach one. And what's wrong with us, man? And then we accuse the brother of selling out, who's doing good. We need to stop it. Because if he acts educated, then we accuse the brother or sister of being conditioned by the system. It's like some of us out there want him to fail. And it's like we expect him to act ghetto. I don't understand that, do you? And I think we should join together and say that the portrayal of black people would so much be better if we got away from this rap ghetto garbage. It's not doing us any good. It only perpetuates the negative image that white folks like to use against us. It's about helping ourselves, people. And we shouldn't worry about that slave thing, because although it's been abolished, the entire culture is a slave culture today. And it means people of every ethnic group, colors, and creeds slave away under this giant debt. And we slave away at our jobs, and we also become overworked and depressed, and one paycheck from financial disaster. And like I said, I'm going to keep it real. This is Dale Ray Raw and Uncut. And I try to look at everything from all perspectives. And to put it simply, there are those who are not comfortable seeing black males around. And so they make it difficult than it needs to be. And there are many instances where we are met with hostility. But also in life situations, we have to prove we're not with all that negative stereotype madness. And let me say to my white brothers out there, when you see a brother riding in a nice car, it doesn't mean he's a drug dealer, sir. Not all black men are the same. We are like the rest of you. And of course, some of us are in jails and some are not. Some are making a good life for themselves. And we should all stop being so ignorant. And I want to say to my black brothers out there, no matter what we will make it, we'll make it through. But we got to stand together. And we already know that being black in this country requires a high responsibility. And if we want it or not, and if we can understand that we understand, and we stand on the shoulders of millions of people who sacrifice their livelihoods so that we can make something out of ourselves. We should be proud to be black men. And it's about being true to ourselves and of course our culture. It's through knowledge, man, and the awareness of our history that we should realize that we are strong. And of course, racism still exists. But remember that there is power in unity. And being black to me means we must keep striving for excellency, no matter what our background is. And as I speak to big audiences, I am astonished when I see people retreat when they hear me speak as an intelligent black man. And I got to define who Dale Ray is, and not others. And I've also learned to expand my definition of who I am, and it goes beyond culture. This word race is a term invented by those who want to place limits on people. Listen to me, my brother. We define who we are, what we want, and how to achieve it. Those who rap about calling your sister the B word, you need to stop. You need to stop. Who talk about killing cops, you need to stop. You need to stand with the real black men out there, without violence, without carrying guns. But it's living up to your true potential as a black man or woman. We must educate the young minds out there. I want y'all to stay with me. We got a great show. This is Dale Ray, and I am coming to you live from Houston, Texas. I'm sending a shout out to all my people out there in the San Francisco Bay Area. I hope y'all listen to me. Yeah, we got it hard, but what do we do with it? And for me, to be a black man is simply to live the only life I have. And regardless of obstacles, I must overcome. I'll make it through the storms. And my mom, who raised me, she laid the foundation for my accomplishments. She taught me how to love my country, this country, America, but to love myself, despite racism. And as I said before, I love everybody, red, brown, yellow, black, and well, I did say brown, okay. But sometimes we must prepare for the struggle, my brother. And it doesn't mean that we will fail. It just means sometimes we have to kick some doors down in order to achieve great results. And I've always been told that if you want to compete against the white boys, then you have to be twice as good and work twice as hard. And today, I am a recovering addict with 12 years clean. And with that clarity, I gotta say, being a black man has become a real responsibility for me. And I take it very serious. I have a responsibility not only to my home, my community, but also to the next generation of black men. And as an elder, I got to take this torch that has been passed on to me from those who was here before me. And as black men, we must continue to fight the good fight of faith. We must keep our future from becoming dim. Even when discrimination, we must stand as men as our forefathers did. I don't know about you, but after sleeping on a cardboard box in a dark alley of San Francisco and 20 years of crack addiction, but also the loss of close family members, I gotta tell you that without a doubt, I feel I'm on God's strongest creature. Sometimes we are against it. And as a black man, sometimes it seems that everybody has a set of chains for you to wear. One group wants to chain you with their fear. Another group wants to chain you with low expectations. Those are the ones who say you ain't going to amount to anything. And then you have to group that, you got to get rid of that stuff, man. You can't believe in that poison. The black man with all the, and he got sin and he got failure. This is what they say. And like I said, I am not a racist. And some of my best friends are white. But I got to say to some of the good old boys out there, first you need to stop projecting your problems on us. Why don't you focus on yourself? And when you do, and if you are honest, you see what's going on within your race. But how can you help us strive? You can't help us strive. But there is those who seek to cause destruction. And when your own lives have been lost to meaning, take a look at Bush. Now answer this. Who has taken the heat for his 8-year rule of destruction and utter incompetence? I said to everybody before that I was a crack addict for 20 years. And through the grace of God, I've been clean and sober for 12 years. And my point is this. I've seen a lot of white people out there who were strung out on heroin, and they were also sleeping under the bridge and begging quarters. And I seen them because I stood next to them doing the same thing. But my point is, how come no one wants to talk about my white brothers being strung out? It's dual standards, and that's what I'm talking about. You got to call it like we see it. And regardless of what's going on around us, I got to say to the brothers out there, first of all, it's difficult for any woman to respect any black man who doesn't stand up to his responsibility. And I am no exception. And as I said before in the